Hello, everybody, and welcome back to today's segment where we have Louise Sanders from the Stress Experts joining us once again. How are you, Louise?
I'm great, Tracy. How are you?
Good. For those of you guys that are following along, we are doing a series called Know Thyself on the Enneagram. So if you haven't caught the first main episode, go back, check that out, because Louise walks us through the Enneagram, what it is, the framework, all the good details. And then we have finished the series and we've gone through each of the Enneagram personality types 1 to 9. So today we are working on personality type number 1. Louise, do you want to dive in and talk about the characteristics, strengths, weaknesses, and then we can move into what really motivates a number 1?
Absolutely. So a number one, a type one is known also as the reformer. So they're trying to improve. So they're also known as the perfectionist. So they're well organized, orderly. And this can, speaking of strengths and weaknesses, this can change into rigidity. So because they're so organized and orderly, it can be like, no, this is the right way to do this. There's no gray in this. It's black and white. So they maintain high standards, but they can sometimes slip into criticism, especially self-criticism. They kind of have that voice in your head that, is self-criticizing you. Well, theirs is on a loudspeaker. Mm. So they're always trying to improve. They're trying to work for perfection. When they're almost like looking out into the world of like, how can I fix it? How can I make it better? So a little different than the type 3, they're looking at how to improve, but they're both, the 1 and the 3 are looking at competency. So a 3 is looking at getting better, and a 1 and being the best, and a 1 is about doing the right thing. And they will even deny what they want to do and what they really want to do and what their dreams are in order to do the right thing.
Okay.
And whatever that right thing is and what's acceptable it's either based on morals, but it's kind of like that super ego. It's almost like you hear your dad in your head or your pastor in your head that you have to do these are the rules, you got to stick to them. And so it's not even what they want to do, it's like they got to follow the rules that society has set out for them. And if they can just follow the rules, and if everyone were to follow the rules and be more perfect and responsible, the world would be a better place.
Interesting. Okay.
So they're about accomplishment as well as a 3, but they're about accomplishment, improvement, perfection. Unfortunately, their perfection can cause, and here's a weakness, paralysis. So it's like you can't hand this assignment in until it's perfect. You can't pass this, you can't hand in your test until you know that every question has been answered and it's answered perfectly. So like the 100% is important, but it's important for a different reason than the 3. The 3 is then they're the best. A 1 is then they're right. So a 1 doesn't want to be wrong, doesn't want to be corrupt, doesn't want to be evil, or they don't want to be defective in some way, shape, or form. So they're really trying to improve themselves, which really helps them to improve themselves in all aspects, because they sadly think there's something broken with them or something that has to be fixed or something that can be improved upon. So it really drives them into self-discovery or in self-development. So it's good, but it can hinder them.
Interesting. Can I hop in really quick?
Absolutely.
When you are talking about this personality type, I want to go career here. My mind screams police officer, correction officer, like that rigidity, like the rules the right way. Mm-hmm. I could see a 1 thriving in the law, right?
Law enforcement. Yes.
Okay.
And principals. As a school principal.
Yes.
No, you should. They're the ones, again, we're talking about average level health here or low level health. They're the ones that are like, you should do this.
Teacher too, I wonder.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
I mean, it could be anybody, right? Yeah. I mean, ones are going to end up in everything, but sometimes the importance of this work. If we knew this and understood ourselves, how many people are in jobs they don't like? And imagine if you put a 1 in a marketing role where it's like chaos and you have like, there's no right or wrong and you got to wing it in, right? Could you
Yes.
imagine if they end up there, how unhappy they would be, and vice versa?
Yes, especially if they don't know that that is their Enneagram type. Like, if you can end up in, a one can end up in marketing, but then they'll understand that, of course, I'm going to be working for perfection. There's my Enneagram type. Like, it doesn't matter if it's perfect. There's no perfect advertisement. Like, you can't. There's no measure, right? How
Yes.
can you measure perfection on something like art, right? Like, art can be hard for a type 1 because it's like, well, no, it's got to be the rule of thirds. Can't be different than that. And as much as they're trying to make things organized, art isn't always organized.
No.
Right. So it can be difficult for a type 1 to color out of the lines, or to, the adult coloring book.
Yeah.
Like a draft, you can color the draft purple. It's like, no, a draft is not purple. It's gotta be tan and brown. Like,
Yes.
so it's challenging for a type 1 to be different, to be spontaneous, to let their hair down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There I go trying to lump people. And I mean, I did make that comment. I'm sure we all end up in all different roles. But just a little side note here, personally, as a business owner and manager, I have seen people go into wrong roles for their personality type. Even before knowing this, I'm like, nope, not a good fit. They're not happy. It doesn't suit them. Right. So sometimes I wonder if we, again, going back to the school system and relationships, but to me, right on this segment, I go more into the jobs. How much happier would we be if we had a stronger awareness? Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's where I go.
Mhm.
Okay. So strengths, weaknesses, characteristics, whatever you want to add there, move into motivation.
Yeah. So what motivates a 1? So a 1 is part of the red pearl. So 8, 9, and 1. So kind of, we made that circle back up to the top of the Enneagram. So a 1 is motivated by impact. Like, they want to make an impact. They want to make the world a better place, and they want to make a better place with their goodness. They want to make a good world.
Yeah. That's excellent.
So again, it's their anger type. So they're a red pearl. So they are, not that they're angry all the time. Again, go back to the first session that we talked about, the main session. But they use their anger to impact the world with goodness.
Interesting.
And righteousness.
Okay. I love it. Okay, that has been a good chunk of information on the number 1. And of course, I know when we're sitting here talking about it for X many minutes, it's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to work with on this. I have done coaching with you. I love the work we did together, provided me with great game-changing moments, really connected a few dots that I needed to connect and provide some great insight. So you do coaching on the Enneagram, all kinds of coaching. Do you want to speak to the work you do with people and how they can connect with you?
Absolutely. So what we do is we help people discover their Enneagram type through a dialogue. So it's not a test. Tests are only 50 to 60% accurate, which can be very confusing for the person that does a test and gives the wrong type. So we have a dialogue where you get to discover and put on your detective hat and find out your type. So we have worksheets and the dialogue. We talk about different topics and help you really dig out your Enneagram type like an archaeologist. So you can find us and find the work that we do in our coaching. So I'm just going to step back here. Our coaching is like a mixture of helping people use their Enneagram types to become more developed and at a healthier level. And we mix that with our coaching for stress management. So if you're interested in just doing the Enneagram typing session, we can do that for sure, but we usually mix it in with our other coaching. If you're interested in finding more about us and how to get in touch with us, you can go to our website, thestressexperts.com, or drop us an email at info@thestressexperts.com.
Perfect. And I'll include your contact information in the show notes as well.
Awesome.
Louise, thank you so much. This has been a blast. I appreciate your time and wisdom that you've shared with the audience. Thank you so much. You in the audience, if you enjoyed this as much as I did, like it, share it, get it out there so other people can hear about the great work that Louise and the stress experts are doing, coaching and spreading the amazing word about the Enneagram. So thank you guys. See you on the next week's episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.